An investigation is underway after police stumble upon a dog fighting ring. Why they are calling on the public to help keep an eye out.
And a good Saturday morning, mid-Michigan. It's cold. If you're stepping out here fairly soon, we'll have your full forecast coming up.
A new COVID vaccine on the horizon, awaiting FDA approval. Why experts say it's showing major promise. It's time to wake up mid-Michigan. It is Saturday, January 30th.
With coverage you can count on, this is WNEMTV5 News.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the weekend. Hope you all got an opportunity to soak up some of that vitamin D yesterday. That sun was just beautiful. Let's hope that continues for this weekend. Thanks so much for being here, though, with us this morning. I'm Blake Keller. We're kicking our morning off with meteorologist John Gross. Just a beautiful day. I see some glimpses of sun. How's that looking? Because you're saying it may not stick around.
Yeah, I think we get a little bit of it early on, but more clouds, unfortunately, for later on this afternoon. So let's enjoy some of that sunshine while we still have it as we're going throughout your Saturday morning. But it's cold out there. That's going to be the bigger story as we start off this weekend. So let's get you back out. We'll show you this nice live look. Waking up this morning, it's 8 o'clock. We'll take you to Mount Pleasant, Central Michigan University's campus, and we always like a nice sunrise on our live cam to get your weekend started. There's a look at your temperatures, though. It's cold. We're below freezing in several locations. -2 in Lapeer. We've got -1 in Oscoda, -3 in Carroll and Houghton Lake. A big goose egg for West Branch. Only 1 degree now in Midland. So you get the picture. It's cold out there for this morning. Only good news from this is there's not much of a wind out there. So your feels like temperatures not too far off from where the actual air temperature is, but nonetheless, there you go. Single digits, some teens, and even below zero again. For most of us out the door this morning, make sure that you are staying nice and warm out there. Pinpoint Doppler radar live from MBS trying to pick up on a few light snow showers into the western side of the state. I think dry air is going to win out from the battle as we go into this afternoon. It's just going to be an increasing cloud cover as we go throughout today. More moisture to the south and west. That's going to be associated with the next storm system that will move just to our south, possibly giving us a few snow showers into tomorrow. But as you look at your winter weather alerts from National Weather Service offices across the country, it's showing most of the activity will stay off to our south. Anywhere you see the pink shading, that's a winter storm warning from Chicago into the Ohio River Valley. We're looking to pick up over a half a foot of snow when all is said and done. None of that for us here, possibly a few snow showers tomorrow, but there you go for today. More clouds by the afternoon. It's just going to be very cold. We're talking single digits, teens, and even only upper 20s by the afternoon. Full look at your 7-day forecast. We'll talk more about that coming up in just a little bit. Blake, we'll send it back to you.
All right, John, thank you. Developing this morning, a reported dog fighting ring uncovered during a drug investigation in Flint. 15 pit bulls were discovered in a home near Saginaw and Stewart. TV5's Scott Wolchek has the latest in the investigation.
Chained up dogs out in the cold and inside a dank basement filled with harnesses, injectable meds, and more caged pit bulls. Police in Flint originally came to this home on Saginaw near Stewart on a drug bust, finding cocaine and a gun. They soon realized they'd uncovered a dog fighting ring.
It just breaks my heart. I'm a 100% a dog lover. And I don't want to see this kind of stuff going on.
Arrests made, drug and animal abuse charges pending. 15 pit bulls were rescued and taken to Genesee County Animal Control.
It's heartbreaking. They didn't ask for this. They were born into this lifestyle. They were chosen for this lifestyle, and there's no way out.
Becky and TJ volunteer with Genesee Animal Control. They also run Flint City Pits, a foster-based rescue. During their time as animal advocates, they've seen the horrors of these fighting rings firsthand.
They come into the shelter and they're scarred. They're obviously scared. A lot of them aren't super friendly with dogs. We've had some come in and they're missing, parts of like their face, like it's just gone. And this is how these dogs live day in and day out in those conditions.
What makes it even harder, these dog fighting rings are highly secretive.
These dogs are moved often. They're kept in, secure locations. It's not an easy thing to catch.
And remember, stumbling upon it is exactly what the police did. They know more are out there and are calling on the public to help keep an eye out.
So that these can be reported so we can investigate them and stop them.
Scott Wolchek, WNEMTV5.
Continuing coverage, suspects in a shooting Thursday night in Flint are still at large. Now, the shooting claimed the life of a 57-year-old woman and left a man and an 11-month-old girl in critical condition. A total of 5 people were shot during a dispute between 2 groups on Tebow near Kent. Genesee County prosecutor David Layton tells TV5 this shooting and other violent crime stem from a deeper problem. It's a lack of economic opportunity.
Folks need jobs. Folks need to be able to put food on the table. Folks need to be able to make a living honorably and honestly without having to resort to like selling drugs.
Several houses and vehicles were shot. Police are encouraging people with information to call Crime Stoppers. Those calls are anonymous. New this morning, the CDC is issuing a federal mandate requiring people to wear masks while using any form of public transportation. That goes into effect Monday night, and masks that cover the nose and mouth must be worn both on the ride and while waiting for it. This includes buses, trains, taxis, airplanes, boats, subways, and even ride-share vehicles. Face shields and goggles can also be worn, but not in place of a mask. Children under 2 and people with a disability who cannot wear a mask are exempt. Now, the CDC says it reserves the right to enforce the order through criminal penalties, but hopes people will follow it voluntarily. Now, the order will stay in effect until further notice. Now, the CDC is also extending the order to halt some evictions through March, saying it could hinder efforts to slow the spread of COVID-19. Now, the order originally issued in September was set to expire tomorrow. The moratorium includes people who earn $99,000 or less a year and can't make their payments because loss of income or extraordinary medical costs. Tenants must show they've exhausted government options and are making an effort to provide payment. Now, they must also prove eviction would mean moving to a shelter or becoming homeless. Johnson & Johnson plans to seek emergency use authorization for its COVID-19 vaccine within a week. The U.S. trial shows 72% efficacy against moderate and severe infection, and data shows 85% efficacy in preventing serious symptoms in global trials. But the overall success rate is lower. It's only 57% effective in South Africa, where that highly transmissible COVID variant is dominant. 2 cases of that variant have been reported in South Carolina, and health experts say the vaccine still shows promise as it's a single-dose vaccine and holds up for months in a regular refrigerator.
It either will stop you from having COVID, or if you have COVID, it has a much milder course. It'll stop you from needing to worry about ever getting so sick that you have to go to the hospital or dying.
The CDC says close to 23 million Americans have received at least 1 dose of a COVID vaccine. TV5 News Time is 8:08, still ahead. The return to indoor dining. Restaurants prepare to open their doors again for customers. State officials pushing for safety, how they hope to achieve that with a new program. And coming up next, ice skating is back in Saginaw, so get those skates ready. When and where you can hit the ice, we'll let you know. Just stay with us. More local news. Ice skating is coming back to Hoyt Park in Saginaw next month. Positive results. Pride in Saginaw and Friends of Hoyt Park say bringing back the ice. 2021 will open at the park for 2 Saturdays in February for skating and sledding. Now, a night skate is scheduled for February 6th and again on the 13th. Free skate rentals are available and face masks are required. A coat giveaway for kids in kindergarten through 6th grade today. It's at New Beginnings Ministries on Hess Avenue. 180 coats are available. It is first come, first serve that begins at 1. And the East Side Soup Kitchen will be serving a hot and nutritious breakfast this morning, located on Genesee Avenue in Saginaw. The breakfast starts at 9 and it will be drive-through style. Very good. TV5 News Time is 8:12. A 30-year tradition is back in Frankenmuth. We'll take a look at what to expect at this year's Zender's Snowfest. Here's a live look over downtown Saginaw right now. Some single digits across mid-Michigan, so keep warm. That sun poking through nice and bright. TV5 Weekend Wake Up. We'll be back in a bit. A TV5 scam alert. The Better Business Bureau is warning people not to share COVID vaccine cards online. Vaccination cards have personal information on them, like your full name, your birthday, and where you got your vaccine. But it's not just personal information those scammers could be after. They could use your real card to make a phony one. Scammers have been caught selling fake vaccination cards online in Great Britain, and the BBB warns it's only a matter of time before that starts in the U.S. If you want to share the momentous occasion online, they recommend taking a photo of your vaccine sticker or just taking a selfie at the clinic. IKEA is making its customers acknowledge the safety risks of using some of its furniture. This after the company recalled millions of dressers that were prone to tip over. IKEA has been blamed for the death of 9 children and a dozen other injuries. It's now requiring shoppers to accept the conditions, saying owners must attach those items to the wall. Zender Snowfest is underway with ice and snow sculptors across downtown Frankenmuth. This year's festival is scaled back due to the pandemic. Now, the event will not include any entertainment, warming tents, or fireworks, and all food must be eaten outdoors. Even though there are big changes this year, visitors tell TV5 the magic of Snowfest is still in the air.
Heartwarming, it's uplifting. Just to see people's eyes again, you know, that's all we can see right now, but I think just about everybody is smiling behind these masks. I know I am.
Now, although there isn't a snow carving competition this year, there are still several sculptures, including one dedicated to frontline workers. And new this year, ice dogs mushing entertainment shows throughout the weekend. Now, here's a live look at downtown Frankenmuth, where you can check out the fun for yourself. Snowfest will last until Sunday, and if you do take any pictures, of course, we would love to see them. Email us your Snowfest pictures to WNEM@WNEM.com or just send them to our Facebook page. It is so cool to see all of that. A few tributes, and that bridge right there you can see, almost walked on it myself. The carvers almost let me.
This is the third time this year that we've covered this since I've been here, and it just amazes me all the different types of sculptures that they're able to make with the ice, especially that front line hero workers one.
Yeah, I can't believe they're also braving the cold, because they're out there overnight most times, like in the early morning when it's actually really bitter
so
cold.
Even though while we don't like the single digits and the 20s, that's perfect weather for the ice sculpting.
Yeah.
And we haven't had good weather for the past several years, so at least we get some of that for Snowfest as we're going throughout this weekend. So that's a positive to take from the colder weather, but that's going to be your big story of topic as we go throughout not only today, but throughout the next several days. There you go. That's where we'll start for this morning. High temperatures into this afternoon look to get us back into the mid to even upper 20s. And again, this is a good 5 and upwards, near 10 degrees colder in some spots than where we should be for this time of year. But winter kind of picking up the slack from what we've had over the past several months. So this is where we should be for this time of year, at least feeling more like it, is what I should say, as we're chugging along through almost getting into February next month. Can you believe it? Or next week. Pinpoint Doppler radar live from MBS this morning keeps us mainly dry. It's trying to pick up on a few light flurries on the west side of the state. I don't think we're going to be seeing too much in the way of precipitation for today. That's just showing some more cloud cover and a little bit more moisture starting to work into our skies. That's going to be the next storm system we'll keep an eye on as we go throughout tomorrow. Now, it looks like we're going to dodge the bullet for most of this precipitation as we go throughout tomorrow. Again, there's a look at the winter weather alerts that are currently in play across the Midwest. Purple's a winter weather advisory down to the south from Chicago and the Ohio River Valley. That's a winter storm warning. That's where most of the snow this time around as we go into tomorrow does look to fall. Doesn't mean it's going to be absolutely zero for us across the region. So here we go on the hour by hour. I think we get a little bit of sun early on throughout the morning, but clouds will work in increase. That's going to be the main word to take away for today as we go throughout this afternoon and even throughout the evening hours as well. But you can see our model keeping us dry for today, and I think that's going to be in good agreement for what we see for your Saturday. More clouds into tonight, not really until we get later on tomorrow morning. That's when we'll watch for the chance for a little bit of snow shower activity. Remember, again, most of that activity will be further south south, but I think we will see our fair share of a few snow showers nonetheless, especially for our southern and western counties. And throughout the morning, looks like we get a little bit more dry air working in from the north. That will decrease those chances into throughout the evening, and then we start to dry things out again as we end out your Sunday. Again, really not a whole lot of snow this time around. Most of the activity will stay further south. I think on the higher end, maybe an inch, possibly near 2, and your best chance is going to be near Owasso, Flint, in towards Alma if you live near Gratiot County and or Shiawassee County. We'll keep an eye on it for you like always. 28 today, increasing clouds. It's just cold. Wind chills in the teens, and tonight we're back down into the lower 20s, so not as cold as where we're at this morning. Nonetheless, still some cold temperatures. Some snow showers move in past midnight, and again, that'll be your best shot south and west to see some of that activity for tomorrow. Lingering a little bit into Monday. Groundhog's Day is Tuesday, a little brighter by midweek at 30 and 32, and another round we'll keep an eye on for Thursday and Friday. Some more rain and snow chances by late next week. Blake, we'll send it back to you.
All right, John, thank you. Trying to stay warm for sure. TV5 News time is 8:21. Coming up, Michigan's efforts to get COVID vaccinations out as quickly as possible. How a bipartisan commission hopes to streamline the process. A Michigan commission laying out a goal to smoothly vaccinate a large population. But there's a major challenge in front of them. As TV5's Kendall Keys explains, administering the COVID vaccine is more difficult than it may seem.
A bipartisan commission made up of Michigan leaders from across the state are working to streamline the vaccination process. Dr. Bobby Mukamala is a chair of the Asian Pacific American Work Group within the commission.
Broadcast information about the vaccine, its development, get rid of any mystery, any misinformation about it, so that people can make the most education decision possible about getting.
It's a cooperative effort to make sure that once vaccines are available to the public, the process is as efficient and accessible as possible. What's motivating them? Fighting back against misinformation.
We need to have a source for accurate information to dispel some of the misinformation out there.
The commission set goals for vaccination distribution, including vaccinating 70% of Michiganders age 16 and older as quickly as possible, administering 90% of doses within a week of their arrival, and ensuring that 95% of the second doses are administered on time.
We want as many people that are interested in getting it to get it. To be at the point where we have plenty of vaccine on a shelf so that everybody that wants it can get it, where we can then focus on the people that aren't so sure. The unfortunate reality is of this week anyway, that it's the vaccine that's the limiting factor.
Dr. Mukamala is confident that the commission will be able to accomplish its vaccination goals. Kendall Keys, WNEM TV5.
According to the state's vaccine dashboard, nearly 1.5 million doses have been distributed across the state, but less than 1 million have been administered. TV5 News time is 8:26. High school athletes pushing back against COVID restrictions. The data MHSAA is using to urge state officials to let students back in the game.
With coverage you can count on, this is WNEMTV5 News.
Well, good morning, everyone, and happy Saturday to all of you. It is a cold one to kickstart our morning, so definitely grab the layers if you plan to head out. Here's a live look over Birch Run this morning. Those conditions looking decent at this hour on the roads, and that sun popping in nicely as well. Thanks so much for waking up with us. Today is January 30th. I'm Blake Keller. Meteorologist John Gross also here this morning, and January is just 2 days away from being over, and I'm not mad to say goodbye.
I thought we just rang in the new year. Now we're already through January. Groundhog's Day is on Tuesday. We got the Super Bowl next week.
Let's celebrate.
Lots of good stuff coming your way.
Yeah.
And we got Snowfest this weekend as well in Frankenmuth. At least the weather, cold weather, is cooperating for the snow sculptures out there and the ice sculptures as well. Let's get you out the door this morning and we'll show you what's going on in your neighborhood. Here we go to downtown Saginaw, Huntington Event Park Center. Still some snow out on the ground from what we picked up last Tuesday, helping to keep us nice and cold out there this morning. Several locations below zero. We're at -2 in Oscoda and Lapeer, -3 in Carroll, Bad Axe, and Houghton Lake. We still have a big goose egg in West Branch, 1 degree in Midland, 13 quote-unquote warmer spot in Elma. You get the picture. We've got some cold numbers. Only good news to take from these numbers, not much of a wind out there for today. So your feels like temperature is not too far off from the actual air temperature, but nonetheless stepping out the door here pretty soon at 8:30. That's what you should be dressing for. Make sure that you've got the layers going on and just finding ways to stay warm for this Saturday. Pinpoint Doppler live from MBS. Radar looking a little bit more intimidating than it actually is. There is a few snow showers on the west side of the state trying to get going throughout the western sections of mid-Michigan along US 127. I don't think we're going to see too much in the way of that activity. Lots of dry air, just showing a little bit more moisture starting to work into our skies, and that's going to be the uptick in the cloud cover we can expect this afternoon. More moisture to our south and west. That's all going to be a part of our next system we keep an eye on for Sunday. Also looks like we're going to miss out on the majority of that activity as well. There's the latest winter weather alerts that we currently do have in play. Again, most of those are south and west of our area here in mid-Michigan. Anywhere you see the purple, that's a winter weather advisory, and then down to the south is a winter storm warning where they look to pick up several inches of snow. Drive-through forecast for today. We've got your breakfast, lunch, and dinner starting off in the single digits, warming up only to the mid to upper 20s by the afternoon. Getting a little sunshine this morning, but I think we get more clouds as we go later on into today. We'll take a full look at the 7-day coming up in just a little bit. Blake, we'll send it back to you.
John, thank you for that. Developing this morning, 15 pit bulls were rescued after police uncovered a dog fighting ring during a drug investigation in Flint. Arrests have been made and drug and animal abuse charges are pending. Now, the pit bulls were taken to Genesee County Animal Control, where one volunteer calls these incidents heartbreaking.
They come into the shelter and they're scarred. They're obviously scared. A lot of them aren't super friendly with dogs. We've had some come in and they're missing, parts of like their face, like it's just gone. And this is how these dogs live day in and day out in those conditions.
These fighting rings are not easy to catch. Now, the dogs are moved often and kept in secure locations. Police say they know more are out there and are calling on the public to help keep an eye out. The state expanding its COVID-19 safer dining program, encouraging restaurants to improve their ventilation systems to reduce the risk of spreading COVID-19. As TV5's Trevor Sahaki reports, doing so comes with a major price tag.
Indoor dining is just a few days away. Sean Egan, director of COVID-19 workplace safety, is hoping this time restaurants will do more to ventilate their diners.
The goal here is to really make sure that restaurants are operating at the capacity of their systems, that they've been verified and checked, that they have the highest filters that they can.
Restaurants that maximize their air changes per hour with a sign-off from an HVAC technician can get a certificate for their door.
Our restaurants are fairly new and up to date. So our air intake and air from the outside is already kind of calculated per minute per hour.
Vincent Stewart owns the Uptown Grill and Stockpot Diner in Bay City. Though the Stockpot doesn't have the air filters Uptown Grill does, the cost of any retrofitting would have to be passed on to customers.
You're going to double or triple your maintenance costs. A cheeseburger is expensive enough as it is, let alone, they'll have to double their food costs to try to take care of their HVAC systems.
There are cheaper options to get certified, but you still have to hit the necessary air changes per hour.
There's not too much we can afford except to watch our P's and Q's and cost and stuff at 25%. So at that, we're hoping there's no breakdowns. We're hoping there's no unforgiven cost that happens. So to bring that up to par, it may not be a good time for many of us to do that.
Egan said the state is coordinating with utilities and planning on providing rebates to restaurants. Governor Whitmer has proposed funding to support the program too, but that'll need to pass the legislature. Trevor Sahaki, WNEMTV5.
Now, the state of Michigan is reporting 1,774 new cases of coronavirus and 6 deaths Friday. That brings the state's total to more than 557,000 cases and the death toll to 14,497. The Michigan High School Athletic Association urging state officials to let winter sports resume as soon as Monday. The executive director pointing to feedback from schools on how well indoor practices have gone over the last few months. In a Zoom call, he promotes the data from the health department's own rapid COVID testing program that was used on athletes and coaches over the final 3 weeks of the fall sports season. Over 30,000 tests were given and 99.8% were negative for COVID.
We firmly believe that now is the time to take the next step to allow those 4 winter sports, for those contact practices to begin immediately, and for winter competition to also begin immediately as well.
A Let Them Play rally is scheduled for today in Lansing. That starts at noon. TV5 news time is 8:36. After months of no COVID-19 cases, a deadly outbreak at a Michigan retirement home. The emotional toll one nun is feeling after losing 9 of her sisters. And you're taking a live look at downtown Frankenmuth this morning. That's right, another day of Snowfest 2021. Today's weather just may be perfect for it. Don't go anywhere though. TV5 Weekend Wake Up. We'll be right back. Across Michigan, a retirement home in Adrian lost 9 sisters over the past 2 weeks from COVID-19. The home had gone more than 9 months without a single case, and the leader acknowledges the deceased had underlying health issues. But she tells Sean Lay the emotional toll comes with a new appreciation for the devastation that virus can bring.
How do you think it got in?
Oh, you know, who knows? In all of our families, how does it come to us? We spent over 9 months keeping the coronavirus at bay. And then right before Christmas, it slipped in.
COVID-19 slipping into the campus of the Adrian Dominican Sisters. Sister Pat Seaman says, despite the strictest of protocols, the reality of this virus, these sisters who dedicated their lives to helping others are no more.
We've had 9 sisters die of COVID total, and all of those were in January, within the last 2 weeks.
The sisters who died range in age from 79 into their late 90s, most already high risk with health issues, cared for under quarantine on a skilled nursing unit. But then one sister passed, and then another, and then another.
It is numbing, and I do, a much deeper appreciation for all the other families who have gone through this, the hundreds of thousands of families. And until it personally touches you, I don't care how much we can have a sympathetic heart, it's different when you've already been there and you've lost someone.
Again, that was Sean Lay reporting. Meantime, 46 sisters at the home have tested positive. 12 cases remain active. All right, if you're just waking up with us, good morning to you. TV5 News Time is 8:41. Coming up, we'll introduce you to this week's Excellence in Education Award winner. For his 100th birthday, this World War II vet, Charlie Montanaro, decided to celebrate by skydiving. It's on his bucket list. Now he gets to check this one off. Charlie suited up and jumped in Arizona with friends and family cheering him on from the ground. Now, currently, the world record for oldest skydiver is 103, and Charlie says he'll be back in a couple of years to beat it. Now, that is definitely the spirit. Don't let anything stop you from living your best life, living life to the fullest, John. How would you go with skydiving?
Well, first off, good for Charlie accomplishing his dreams there, and looks like he's having a good time.
Yeah.
You know what? I would, but I would need somebody to strap on to the back with me all the time. That way I can observe the clouds while I'm just descending down through the troposphere.
Your favorite thing.
It would be a great time. So yes, is the answer to your question.
All right, very good.
Well, it's cold in the upper atmosphere. It's cold at the surface, and there's a look at your 7-day. We've got mid to upper 20s today. Some sun early on, clouds by this evening. Possibly a few snow showers. Again, your better chances south and west of the Tri-Cities. Possibly an inch on the higher end, maybe 2 when all is said and done. Groundhog's Day by midweek looking dry, and maybe another system. We'll keep an eye on it Thursday, Friday. Blake, back to you.
All right, glad those temperatures aren't taking a dive. All right. Thanks so much for inviting us. See you tomorrow, everyone.
Thanks for watching WNEMTV5. Watch us live wherever you are on our website, our mobile, and on our streaming news app. You can also watch us on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV.